What does Meliora mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
Really, bro? Yeah.
Cool.
Yo, is it 142?
Yep. It sure
Is
is.
it 142? How about?
Whoop.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Skibbity
Mommy
bop
dust.
bop bop. Beepity boop boop boo.
What? Wildly Uninteresting podcast, episode number 142
Oh!
Bwah, bwah, bwah.
Yes, it is 142.
with Ian, Sarah, and
Let's
Adam.
dive right in.
We're diving
I
right in.
walked out back the other day, and in the puddle behind the house was a merman.
A merman.
There was a merman.
I was
What did
really
he say?
excited to hear this story.
It's
And
not
I
then
know.
it
I
wasn't
thought
what
he
I
was like popping up with a crazy story. I was like, oh, I'm ready to listen
Yeah.
to this.
No, I don't think anything crazy's happened.
No, I know. Sometimes I told Sarah in life that it's just, it goes by and you don't even fucking notice. Nothing like substantial happens. And it just like keeps, flowing by. Like I don't know. I think that's why like Facebook and Instagram skews how real life is. And that's why people get depressed in their everyday life, is because people make it seem like it's like all the time amped up 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
It's
you
not.
know, learn how to understand time better.
I feel like a lot of people don't.
Well, fuck them. Yeah.
It's a weird
Their own
thing.
stupidity.
I think though there are people out there who's just constantly doing shit. Like
Yeah.
always, always, always.
Yeah, pop stars.
Maybe there are, but I do feel like, and also they only post like the good shit.
Right.
And when they do videos or images or whatever, they'll take them over like 50 times if it takes to get that perfect one. So it looks like they're just perfect all the time and they're amazing. In
Yeah.
reality, fuck them. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
mean, if you look at my unused video that like for things that I do, nah, fuck that. I can look okay for 2 minutes, but after that, it's like 15 minutes of garbage just
Well,
for
leading
an
up to
okay video.
that. Yeah. I can see that. It's a good thing that we can edit like we can.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Get rid of the bad stuff.
I don't do any videos, but I do write letters to some people, and I always realize how, I guess, mundane my life is. But when I go to write, like I wrote a letter to Katie the other day,
Yeah.
and I wrote that in there. It's like I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've have been hanging out.
I
been
love
working.
that kind of shit, though.
Yeah.
And then once you wrote that, did something pop into your head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Always.
It's
Just
like
gonna.
Bono one time was like, if you want to write a song, he's like, I don't have anything to write about. Just write about that.
Yeah,
and then
for
something
sure.
will come.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's great advice.
Yeah.
That's how Bukowski would do his shit. He was like, just wake up every single day and then write and do nothing but write. And it was, the majority of your shit will be terrible,
Yeah.
but every now and again you'll get a gem.
But he
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
even follow his own advice. He drank a lot.
You drink a whole lot, bro.
Drank a lot.
Anyway, like I talking about him going back to the mundane job of being in the mailroom and shit, and his soul was just like rotting away.
Yeah.
I feel that though. That's what I always tell Sarah. With the hardest part about life is that if you are different in that way, right? You are somebody who just wants to like live life in their way or whatever. It's very hard to live it in a customized way because you have to fit within the parameters of the system so that you can live appropriately and not be homeless and sick and dying or whatever. You have to play the game at least a little bit until you make it at whatever you're doing, or until you can make money by doing shit for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you think about it like going into the jungle. You can either take the safe way that everybody has already paved, and it's like, oh, well, this is unfulfilling, but I'm making it through the jungle. Or you could be that dude in the trees,
Yeah.
and then occasionally you're going to miss a branch and smack your face.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate it's that way because I feel the same. Like, there was a point where I was like, I'm going to do the whatever, the normal everyday shit. And then I find that it's mundane at a certain point. It's boring to the sense that it's always, I mean, of course I have, what is it? Like undeterminables. like there are surprises within the industry.
Yeah.
But really, I just do the same thing. You know, I'm just doing electrical work.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just sometimes that gets mundane. You have to find a way to unmundane a situation. However you can do that.
Wear a mask.
Mask.
Like a werewolf mask.
Or do it in the Speedo, like do electric in a Speedo
Yeah.
and like market it that way.
Don't shut off the electric.
I think
That's a
that's
great idea.
That's the question I get asked the most is, oh, do you ever get shocked? And I'm like, of course we do.
Nope,
Like,
I've been in it 17
Don't you
years.
think a lifeguard
Never.
occasionally gets water up their nose?
Right.
yeah.
Come on.
I was like, this is a ridiculous conversation I'm having with you. Of course I have, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know, dude. Yeah, it's.
I know.
It's weird
People
to
need
make that.
hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I saw there was a meme. It was like a dude playing video games and his girlfriend's sitting on the couch and she's like, I'm tired of watching you play video games. And it's like, bitch, get a hobby.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but that's kind of the way of working out the mundanity or mundanity or however you say it.
Is getting a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, yeah, you're going to go to work for 8 hours a day, but whatever. Man, that reminds me of another meme I saw that fucking irritated me. It was like the idea of working 5 days for 48 hours straight of free time doesn't sit right with my soul. And it's like, but on those 5 days, you work for 8 hours and you have 16 hours free.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're working a third of that time to have 2 days uninterrupted.
Yeah.
And that's bothering you?
That's bothersome. Yeah. Especially, well, and you think too, I'd like to see whoever made that meme and whoever like applaud the meme.
I'm just a fat bitch.
Yeah. Like what job do they have, right? Is it so physically demanding that by the time they get home, they're just like done, you know, in the bed?
Are they a horse?
Yeah. So
I'm done
plowing the
working on
fields.
these oats.
and that's what I feel like you have to look at that situation. Because there's some jobs out there, 8 hours, man, will drain the shit out of you. There's not a whole lot,
Right.
but there's quite a bit, you know. And if that's the case, just get an extra hour of sleep or something.
Digging ditches, chopping bricks.
Chopping bricks
Yeah.
for no reason.
Chopping bricks will wear you out.
You mean like Coke bricks or like building bricks?
Building bricks. Nobody gets tired of chopping coke bricks.
Never.
You're not allowed to.
Yeah. I got
Fucking
all
never.
day for this. Just run your nose on the top of it.
That's right.
But that's I feel like there's a lot of people out there that feel that way, and it does. I think, dude, it's physically and mentally draining to work for somebody else, and to have that within your soul that's like, man, I want to be doing something else, right? Even if you don't know what it is, most of us go to a job thinking, man, I would like to be doing X,
All right,
whatever.
so you
the
see
thing.
this thing where it's like if you don't know what it is that you want to do, but you're not happy with what you're doing, don't come home and binge Netflix.
Right. So what is your advice on somebody who does that
I
currently?
just gave it to you.
No, like how do they
Stop
find
fucking watching
something,
Netflix.
either the energy or a direction to go in when they're doing that? Because say they want to do something different, but they don't know things that they could be doing different. So how do they figure that out? Do they just start doing random things?
Well, I mean, a starting point is, you can kind of think of it like whenever you're a kid. I mean, I don't know how it was with you, but like Sarah and I felt like we were in and out of activities and shit. It's like, oh, let's try for what the hell was the shit? You did like ballet and like gymnastics and like different sports and shit.
Yeah.
Like do that shit as an adult. Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
get a taste of a bunch of different things and then pay attention to your insides to where you're like, oh yeah,
I kind of
that-
like
Yeah,
that's
you
inspiring.
excited to
Yeah,
go
I
do
love
something.
this.
Mhm.
yeah.
So yeah,
I recommend too for people, and I have to watch myself too because it's absurd what it does to you mentally. Scrolling through like Instagram, either looking for ideals or just like, oh well, I got to do something, and my mind is wandering, so I'm going to do this. But scrolling through Instagram or Twitter or any of those is something that you have to get away from because your brain will think that you're doing the thing that you're watching. So then dopamine won't be released for you to go and obtain that in life.
See, like, I agree with you and I disagree with you.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, get away from the mindless shit. But, like, with Instagram, I've just started following people that have a certain aesthetic that I like.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like surrounding myself with it. It's like decorating a room that isn't really physical. So I constantly have, like, the inspiration and just the seeing, like, it changes the world that I live in.
Yeah.
And I use Tumblr the same way. But, like, I actively have a page for, like, the creative endeavors, you know, where it's like, okay, this is kind of like my blueprint. And so just don't do things mindlessly.
That's the key. Yeah, not mindlessly.
It's like, oh, I need to kill time. No, motherfucker, you need to focus.
Well, that's why I started dumping the photos that I take randomly onto the laptop and then onto the phone before I like go out for the day or whatever. So that way, when I'm laying in bed or get up in the morning and I have a little bit of time, instead of scrolling, like I edit a picture because it's just as mentally, rewarding as scrolling. And then you have something to show at the end of it.
Yeah, dude.
So that could be a benefit, but I'm with you. It's it's just so hard for those people, and I'm sure once you're stuck in something for so long, if you want to get out of it, it's hard to. It's just how we are. The human brain hates change. You know what I mean? So how do you break something that is designed to never change, to find patterns and stick with them?
Step one
It's hard to do that.
is do something different.
Yeah. Step 2, keep doing the different thing.
It's definitely, it seems difficult, and I'm sure it is difficult, but if you don't start, you're never going to do it.
Yeah. So, you know, eventually, it's like, I mean, some people don't do things differently until it's just more annoying to do the same shit.
Absolutely.
Which is fine, because, I mean, that's how it goes. I've had that happen, but you eventually just have to take the initiative and then picture what you want and then go for it. I used to have the issue where it was like I had a vision of things that I wanted, but it was too big and I didn't know how the hell to get to it. And the idea of just doing some little bullshit thing along the way was like, what good's that going to do?
Right.
But, you know, I mean, if you want to make donuts, you got to get out the flour or whatever. I don't know how to make donuts, but I assume there's flour in it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I was going to make that video for you yesterday, and I think, too, I don't know if that's something I'm developing now, but a hard time making a decision, right?
Yeah.
So I thought about that, too. Like, how do I just force myself into a decision? Sometimes I get stuck, and I just can't find a way out of it.
You got to get the universe splitter app.
I hate that. I hate it. I won't even let her do it with me. Like do that, like coin flipper, the universe app for me because
Coins
I'm
don't
like,
know shit.
I'm like, I don't want another like a thing deciding for me because then you know I'm leaving it up to this program to tell me how I want to do things.
Yeah,
So,
but if you can't make the decision,
right,
you know.
I think
something
more
else.
so.
I know. I'd rather be hung up and immobile than to trust an app.
For sure. I think it has more to do with what you said just a minute ago. Is I think that the project is too big or that I have bigger things going on or more things that I need that are more pressing, but I don't want to do them, say like fix the floor, fix the plumbing, fix the whatever. And so then I just like let that play on my mind. Like I should be doing that, but I really want to do this. And then it's like this battle and you get stuck in that. So maybe just do instead. Oh, there was another thing about, I read a book, and Adam Grant, maybe, I'm not sure, but it was Atomic Habits. I don't know who wrote that.
Yeah,
but that
I don't either, but that sounds familiar.
it's
I've never
so
read
good,
it, but
dude.
you know.
Yeah, pick it up and read it because he talks about like putting whatever project and shit that you write down you want to do to make it as easily accessible as possible. So the night before, like put the laptop in your way, put the camera in your way, put the notebook in your way. That way you have to cross paths with it with what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It's such a good idea.
It's like in bed, like, you know, I have the table to the right of me, and in the drawer, I have pens and paper, and then I go out, and the room right there has my desk and all the writing crap, and I have books stacked there. I have books stacked next to the bed. I got my books in a bag that like I take to work with me. I have writing crap.
Yeah.
It's just always there.
Yeah, and you don't have to do much to get it started.
No,
it's
because
just
I
like
hate
there.
doing shit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I want to do the shit. I don't want to do the shit to do the shit.
Yeah, I don't want to like prep work to try to get to
No.
the shit I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
But-
when it comes to like with cooking and cooking and stuff. If I have to dig for the pan, fuck that. But if it's right there,
Go ahead and
awesome.
do this. Yeah.
I don't cook though. Casper does everything. But that's just an example.
Yeah.
It's part
I
of
like
the
it.
reason you don't.
Part of the reason. Yeah, she'll dig. She doesn't care.
Yeah. Because she enjoys it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. I think that it's just hard to get away from the things that because they're also designed to get you addicted to them, so that you'll continue to watch or continue to eat or continue to scroll or whatever. Like everything nowadays is designed to get you addicted, get you hooked, and then like
Yeah, but
squeeze you for all the
it's
money
like-
you have.
That works on people that aren't paying attention.
Yeah.
Like once you're aware of it, if you remain scrolling in an addicted way, then you're a dumb shit.
Yeah. Because you
Dumb
know it's
shit.
happening and you're allowing it to happen. Unless that's
Yeah.
just what you want to do, then that's fine.
No, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But the people that want to do that typically aren't complaining about feeling stuck or uninspired. They're like, oh, yeah, this is cool, man.
Yeah. I
Just
also
killing time.
I also think that like with the same way with the meme or like any other meme or video that comes out, a lot of the things on Facebook and Twitter and all this is so weird. It's like people all over the place are trying to be motivational speakers and like, you gotta go get it. And then there's fake gurus that are like, you gotta get out and hustle and fucking like dollars and yes and whatever, right?
Right.
And then so we feel shitty about the fact that we're not amped up and motivated. We're
Well,
not
you
out
should.
hustling.
If you're not out hustling or putting in effort to get something more than what you have,
Yeah.
you are doing what they say you shouldn't do.
But it
And-
also
but
makes you
if that's
hate
what
what you
wanna
have.
do.
I know if
Yeah,
that's
if
what
you
you want
wanna
to do, then you've reached the promised land.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Have
But-
fun with it.
That's
I don't
what
hustle at all, and I'm just happy as could be.
we've talked about it before. Like, I believe that
mosey.
there's a lot of consumers out there and there's only a select few producers. So you only have, there's a lot more consumers, let's say. The majority are consumers, the minority are producers, right?
Right.
So the majority of people want to just fucking live their life and just fucking go to work and come home and shit. And then they scroll through this thing that is addictive to human beings. And they're like, it makes them feel shitty about their life and shitty about their situation. Then they can't feel grateful for anything. So then they're like, I'm going to fucking like kill myself or go into depression. That's why everybody's depressed now. I'm depressed, but I like to think that I caused it from growing into a depression. I'd hope that the apps didn't make me depressed. You know what I mean?
And that
I
could
really
be
want
part
to
of
dig.
it, but-
Yeah, no, they definitely didn't make you depressed. I'm sure there's some stuff that doesn't make it better by
Yeah.
any means, but
Perpetuates it.
It's like
Yeah.
if there's pepper in junk food, the pepper didn't make you fat, but
right,
it's not
yeah,
helping.
it was just
not
there.
I swear, dude. I think about that all the time, especially like I started talking to a therapist, and I'm going to start journaling. I swear to God I will. But
Yeah.
she brings it up all the time. I'll tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. So I go to this therapist family, right? And I kind of lightweight like it because the guy talks about Taoism and he doesn't think, free will is a thing. Like I believe that as well. And I think it's predetermined. He believes, he's a lot to do with Carl Jung and
Right.
all this other shit. He's a decent gentleman, man. I like it, right? And we get into weird philosophical conversations beside the point.
Yeah.
But she
That
has
sounds
brought
pleasant,
up
yeah.
she has brought up therapy like a million times, right? And I'm like, fucking one day. My doctor says it one time, and I'm like, all right, well, maybe Sarah's onto something. I'll listen. And I got to
You
wondering.
asshole.
Everything that
Everything.
his therapist has told him to do, I
She's done.
have said multiple
That
times.
sounds about right. yeah.
That's what I told him. I was like, how weird is this? I was like, because I always bring her up in therapy. I'm like, but I mean, what you're saying she said to do, and then like the journaling, there was some other things too. But that's something that I was like, what is that about us that our partner can tell us to do something or give us advice over and over again, but we can, I guess our depressed brain or our anxious brain can like downplay it and be like, oh, well, she just, she's your partner, she loves you, so
Well,
she's just being compassionate.
I think it plays into two avenues. One, Sarah's a woman, and people tend to not listen to women.
I'm just hysterical whenever I bring these things up.
You're giving me these ideas. You're just emotional. But
You on your period.
then the other thing is that the guy's a professional,
Yeah.
so his opinion carries more weight.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like, we've talked about before how your family doesn't listen to you, take you seriously about things. Like, even if you're an expert in an area, they don't listen to you because, you know, I don't know what that reason is.
They know you as the kid that ate his boogers.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the same thing. You just don't listen to so-and-so because it's that.
And you have that connection, that closest, and you can, and that's what I told her. I was like, usually I'm in a depressive state when you tell me, so my depressed mind can be like, you know, play that off because I'm so close to her. I can play that off. But when it comes to a doctor and he has me all like in my emotions, I'm in the room and stuff. He's like, you need to do this. It kind of starts playing on me. I'm like, well, if he's saying it, Sarah's saying it, other people have said it, I probably need to fucking do it.
I would think too that you know, you're going there for a specific purpose. The purpose is to improve or get help or whatever you want to say. And so whenever an idea is brought up to you there, you would listen to it more because that's why you're there. You're sitting like at home and we're just chit-chatting, you know, we're just chit-chatting. That's all that is. So.
Like if you see a ghost in the corner at home, you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck was that? But if you go to like a ghost hunter and he's like, look at that ghost, and you're like, I knew it.
Yes.
I found though, that's something that like that dude brought up and some other people I watched, is like being like straight up honest with your partner. Like how many of us are 100%, like 100%, maybe 110?
Even
on
more.
that scale.
That's not a real number.
It's a real number.
What if you were 100% honest with your partner? I mean, everything, every little thing. Like, remember I told you about like the chewing and the, there was another sound.
Drinking.
Oh, drinking, right?
He hates the sound
I'm
of me
like,
swallowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
And like chewing and it's like, but it comes from, I remember sitting at my grandmother's table when I was a kid and it was just disgusting to hear them eat. And I was just, from then on, I was like, fuck everybody who's eating around me. If the TV's not on to drown it out, fuck that.
I feel the same way.
I'm going to blow this bitch up. You know,
So
not
far,
No, I know.
I've been 100% honest with Casper.
Yeah.
In every way.
Yeah.
And it's been lovely.
Yeah.
It's a lot better, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would assume you've lied to somebody before, though,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I still lie, just not to her. Like, there was the time where it was like, you know, she cooks everything. And it's like, it's all good.
Yeah.
And I thought, God, there's going to come a time when something is not that great.
Yeah.
How am I going to handle that? And it happened a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, well, we could fix this. Of all the things you've made, this is the worst.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. And she took it like a champ.
Hell yeah. I made something one time and I knew it was going to be bad. I knew I messed up in the middle of it. And I was like, fuck it. This is what I made. We're eating it. And, you know, he crushed it. He ate the whole plate full, but he said, let's just not have this again.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm on board with that.
Yeah, dude. It's like you can be honest without being a dickhead.
Your food
Yeah.
fucking sucks. Don't ever cook again.
Yeah.
I think, too, is I decided to be super honest in the middle of a dispute. Not so much like a fucking like fight or an argument, but more of a like a dispute, a healthy argument.
Yeah.
Like if you're pushed to do so.
Yeah. And then I think it's presented in the wrong way. So you have to wait until you're level headed to be 100% honest. Or in the moment, if you're level headed,
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I've found that they grow and they grow and grow. And then, you know, a year or two later down the line, it just fucking blows up out of you.
Yeah.
It does for me. I'm sure somebody else is different, but
No, it definitely. I feel like
It'll
that's
blow up.
for sure how it happens. But it really is all in how you say it, because it's like we've been watching Gilmore Girls again, and
Yeah.
her and Lorelai and Luke got into it because Christopher called and he came in whenever he was leaving the message, and she flipped out and was like, "Well, I hate that bedroom set." Like she was.
oh yeah, it had nothing to do with
Absolutely,
it.
yeah. I know this is gonna hurt you, and fuck you.
That's I was thinking like down the line, I don't know, 9 years into a marriage, and then like they just spill a glass of water, and then you bring up fucking like whatever, like.
And that's why no one at work likes you.
That's why the Crocodile Corral incident happened.
Crocodile Corral.
Yeah. People say wild shit, man.
They do.
It does, dude. Especially when you're angry
good.
too. Shit don't come out properly because you're seeing red. And that's like a known thing where your brain just starts shutting down to rational thought.
Yeah.
And you just start spouting shit off so stupidly. I do that a lot when I'm angry or mad.
Yeah. Well, whenever you do that, like, are you trying to like protect yourself and keep things hidden, or are you being completely open in the moment?
I think it's questioning that what gets me there is like questioning my character, or when I feel attacked or like you're making fun of me because I built up that shell as a kid. Like I respond to that in anger and like I'm gonna fucking kill you or fight you.
Just feel like you're being attacked, whether you actually are or not. That's something I've got a problem with.
Yeah.
It just depends on the mood, really.
So, like,
Some things sit with me.
I've never really had a problem with that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there are moments like it's happened to me, but it's never been a thing.
Yeah.
It's always like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think that a lot to do, and where I grew up, you had, I mean, it pretty much was like 0 to 60 all the time.
Oh,
like there
yeah.
was either
was
we're
good or
cool,
not.
yeah, we're playing fucking out in the yard, or somebody's getting a bottle thrown at them or some shit. You know what I mean? It's weird, but I think it comes from that and a little bit of how I've like dealt with emotions throughout the thing. But that's another thing. I think you got to be honest with yourself too. Like, what are you know, you might have all these dreams and aspirations and all this shit, but be honest with yourself. Do you want to work 90 hours a week? Do you want to wake up at 3 in the morning?
Yeah, I guess it depends on what I'm doing.
Oh, it depends on what it is?
Yeah.
I don't care what it is.
Like, if it's my own endeavors, then yeah. Because, I mean, if
sure.
you want them to be as good as possible, then that's the difference between Michael Jordan and, you know, not Michael Jordan.
That's why I'm not Jordan. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, that's a good point to make, because I know that I try so much harder when it's something either I'm really, like that Lance video, I was jacked about
Yeah.
it. I took all the equipment. and all
That's
that.
awesome.
It's awesome. But then, you know, I do like that fucking barn thing, right? And then I said yes, but I knew deep down inside, I wanted to do it in the beginning, but then the more I knew him, I'm
It's like,
"God."
it's another project.
Yeah. But it quickly faded, you know? And then when I don't want to do something, or it's not something that I'm interested in anymore, fucking forget it. Bro, I will half-ass it or procrastinate like a motherfucker. Yeah.
It's like when you drunkenly agree to plans and then you have to follow up on it. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah, dude.
Why do I drink?
I swear, man.
I was drunk. I don't really want to do that.
Yeah. No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
That's not my
A lot of times, too, which I know you all probably don't have a problem with this, but I'm always like coming up with stories in my head about how the other person feels about me if I say no or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever. If they're doing good in their life, then I'm like, I'm a piece of shit because I don't want to do all these things that they want me to do. Like people that I've said yes that to work, and I'm like, God, I don't want to fucking work for these people, right? And it's so hard for me to say no in that, you know, because I know I don't want to do it, but I'm afraid of looking like a loser or a piece of shit or a lazy
like you
person.
need to be better at making excuses.
Yeah, no shit. My one now is that Sarah makes it. I say this to everybody. Sarah makes the schedule. I'm gonna have to see what I don't know it until the day of what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna have to wait until she says it. She's the boss around here. That's
Yeah.
what.
It's like
That's a great excuse.
It's like in
though.
Lost in Translation, whenever they want Bob Harris to stay and talk to this guy on the show. You know, he's like, I may have a previous engagement. I'll have to talk to my agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he does,
great.
you know. Yeah.
For sure.
So, yeah.
That's what a
That's
good
what
way
you
to
got to
do.
do. Just hit him with the Bob Harris.
And it's like
previous engagement.
pretty much true, man. Like she's the one that fucking does that. All the paper, like she runs the things. So I'm just here doing the work. That's all I'm here for.
Right. I showed up because I was told to.
Yeah. And I like to put off things like, you know, even things that are good in my direction. I'm just like, nope, I'm just here working. Like, I'm just doing work.
So I just work here.
Yeah. It's all.
Fuck yes.
It's not my fault. I just work here.
I will
That's
say
right.
with the company thing, it does seem. I typically, if he doesn't want to do something, like that's fine. I tell him all the time, if you don't want to do the job, let me know. I'll give him other numbers.
Yeah.
But very rarely people ask, like, why? And I don't have an excuse. Like, it feels weird to give. I don't want to just say, well, he's not interested in the job. I mean, I guess I could.
Yeah, I guess you
but,
really could.
Yeah. I've never been totally sure on how to actually address that answer. Luckily, it doesn't happen that often.
He's booked 3 weeks out, and he's got a doctor's appointment tomorrow.
Yeah.
So he can't deal with it.
I always think about that, but then I worry, what if they're like, that's okay, I'll wait. Yeah. You know, it leaves a little window
true.
they can climb through. Yeah.
You can't afford us, bitch.
Our hourly rate just went up to $3,000.
Damn.
I'm gonna need about 4 hours of work.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, okay.
I think being honest in life is a truly hard thing to do for adults. Children are honest as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But we
Unless
lose
they didn't
that.
take out the garbage.
They're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I
they do
swear
love
I
it.
took it
Yeah.
out. I don't know how it
I
came
took
back
it
in.
out. Oh, I forgot.
I think they're lying honestly, though. They're like, I
What?
fucking hate this, so I'm
Get
lying
out of
about it.
here. What?
Kids
gonna
lie
spend
just to not get in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh,
People
yeah.
lie, adults lie like they're not people. Adults lie just to, like, save face, basically.
All right, so here's a hypothetical for you, because me and I brought this up to Sarah, and she got angry, and we got into a brawl, and she punched me.
That explains the black eye.
Yeah, dude.
The black guy?
Oh,
I
yeah.
wondered why he was here.
So, if you were in a relationship and you all had a kid,
Right.
and this kid comes out, and your wife was like, meet this child with love, right?
Right.
With hugs, love, compassion, and all this stuff. Never spank them, reprimand them, hold them accountable,
Right.
yell at them. None of that, right?
Right.
You don't do none of that. You only if it isn't love or giving hugs or some shit like that, you don't do it, right? How do you think that child would turn out once they get into the real world?
That would be an absolute shithead.
Well, and our conversation was not they weren't held accountable. It was just everything that happened was
Okay, well let's
came
just
from
say
a point of love.
yeah. I think
Oh, so
to
you can
be
tell them they shouldn't do that,
yeah,
but you can't be like, you piece of shit.
Right, for sure.
Right.
Hey, buddy.
but you don't raise your voice at them either.
Don't destroy the TV.
Right.
Like to hold somebody accountable, you have to like. How do you know you did something wrong if somebody's just like, look, you can't do that,
They
right?
talk to you
I'm
like
gonna
a
be
person.
like, I'm about to do that again because that shit was fun and they didn't even beat me for it. I'm out. I'm doing this.
I mean, there certainly have to be consequences, but for, if something's big enough, but
Okay, let's just say spanking, reprimanding, yelling. Do you think that once that kid gets out in the real world, and they're faced with adversity and they're faced with they're faced with things that they have to overcome. Do you think that they're going to be yeah. Do you think they're going to Oh yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Shit.
it's okay.
But do you think they'll be able to take it and keep going, or take the criticism and just keep on moving?
Really,
Or do you think it
I
crushes?
think it depends on the makeup of the kid to begin with. Because, some kids are laid back, some are like emotionally intelligent kind of thing. And like if the kid's smart enough, then yeah, you could just teach them rationally. Like, look, if you do this and people don't like it, they're going to be this and then But if you have an idiot, like hot-headed kid,
Yeah.
then no, they're just going to go out there and be met with what they would expect.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be horrible. But I think it all just depends on how much you can actually talk to your kid and teach them stuff.
Yeah, and how much they like listen and comprehend and retain.
And if they have none of that, then they're doomed. But
Yeah.
like I had a daydream like with a kid like wanting something at a store. I forget how this came about. I feel like I don't know. Maybe the cleaning lady was talking about something. But it was like if you go into a store and the kid throws a tantrum, he's like, "Oh yeah, it was her." Okay. So I want a toy today. No, sorry man, we can't afford that. All right, well, if you throw a tantrum, not only am I not going to buy you something, I'm going to break something you already own.
Ooh. Yeah.
And then if they're cool about it, then you're like, all right, good deal. Next time I'll get you something. So, it's just a matter of talking to people.
It's how you shape the accountability, or how you shape the conversation, and in what way.
Well,
Yeah, I like that.
I think the big thing is being consistent.
Oh, yeah.
No
Oh, yeah,
matter
be
what way you
consistent
go.
for sure.
Yeah, you have to be the same every single time. And also kids learn by watching and mirroring actions. So I think it would depend on, what you do is more so how, I mean, you can tell a kid anything you want, but, if you say you don't throw a fit, or you're not going to ever get anything again, and then you go out and something happens and you throw a fucking fit and then everything's fine, like they've learned, okay, I can throw a fit. That's what mom did.
Yeah, mom does this.
Yeah.
I think that
Mom doesn't do this, you little fuck.
Yeah.
I think that little
Do as I say,
a little bit
not
of
as I do.
spanking, or snatching a knot in them, and I only mean that like grab them up by the shirt, not like I'm gonna like tie the
I
kid
thought
in
you
the
meant
knot
like
and break
grab
his
their
neck.
neck.
Yeah, but that's
Beat
if
them until
you-
they're covered in knots.
you got like spanking them, or wrapping them up, or whatever. Like really show them that as a parent you can be authoritative, so that once they get out in the real world, they can't. Because there's a lot of situations in the real world you can't haggle with whatever the boss says or whatever the school says. There's no haggling with that. So if you're a parent that haggles with your kid, or doesn't show that authoritative, I'm the boss, you're the child mentality, I'm interested to see. I think the only reason I ask, I think a lot of like millennials are before them, whatever the next one that came. I think a lot of them, that's what problem they have, is that once they do get into the real world or whatever, real jobs, the adversity hits them and they're just like, I don't know what to do. I've gotten pretty much everything like handed to me. I didn't fucking felt no pain.
Along the lines of that, like, you have to be the authority figure, but I feel like you also have to let your child haggle with you.
Yeah.
As a way of like letting them practice their ability to overcome. And yeah.
My parents, although they did beat the shit out of us if we needed it,
Oh, yeah.
they would, my father more so, right, is that he would say, if you can argue your point, even if I think it's wrong, if you can argue it and change my mind, or make it sound whatever, right?
Yeah.
If you could argue your point well,
Structurally sound.
yeah, then I'll change my mind about it. But if you can't, and you can't give me a good reason why you want to do it, or why you want to go that place, or whatever, then the answer's still no.
And you're getting a belt buckle to the teeth.
I'm gonna punch those teeth out. But and I think it helped me like in the electrical trade, because sometimes you have to go against what the code book says in black and white, and because something's in the way, or it just can't, it's not possible to do it as the NEC says.
This isn't in the book.
Yeah. So you have to argue with the authority having jurisdiction, like, you have to argue your point well, and it has to be, legible. It has to be, okay, it changes his mind.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has helped me growing up to haggle. So I'm on the same line with that. I'll agree, for sure.
Thanks, man. All right, I haggled him into believing a stupid position. You got to beat your children and reign supreme over that ass.
I think there's actually been studies that show that an authoritative, like, parenting style is terrible for
Yeah.
kids.
Because it
Really?
just teaches them
Yeah.
to do everything like out of sight.
Yeah.
They become sneakier.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's I think I read that same thing or watched it, but that they said that child is more apt to do the things that you tell them that they can't do or whatever. Like when you say, and plus, like, we live in America, that's just how human beings in America are. You tell us we can't have that pill, we're going to take the pill.
Yeah.
You say we can't have that green thing that's growing in the backyard, we're going to smoke it.
Or snort it.
Snort
You're
it.
just gonna.
Weed.
Oh, I was like, you're just smoking frogs now?
Yes.
But
Jesus.
I definitely agree with that. Like, I was asked when I was a kid, like, my girlfriend's parents at the time, I mean, they were strictly like, you can't do this, blah, blah, blah. It was very strict. And my aunt asked the mother, she was like, are you trying to get your daughter pregnant? And she didn't take it that well. And it was because she was like, the more you take them away from each other, the more they'll try to be with each other and do things the wrong way. And then they'll have a kid at 16
Yeah.
or some shit, you know.
Well, and if every time you do something you get reprimanded for it or yelled at for it, like you're not going to think anything you do is right. And like you said, you're just going to be sneaky. You're going to do everything like in the shadows.
If I'm just a fuck up, I'm gonna fuck up.
yeah,
I'm going to really fuck.
hell yeah.
But
That's where
okay.
the like mirroring comes in. You just teach them how to behave based off your behavior. I feel like treating kids like adults. I mean, after a certain point, they have to be able to understand. You know, like 1 to like 5, you really have to set those boundaries and stuff and be consistent. But after a certain point, you can kind of branch out the parenting styles. I mean, of course, there's going to be times that you have to say absolutely not. Like you have to play your parent card.
I want to drink this glass. No.
See how that goes.
And I'm over here pondering these things. I'm not trying to like give advice as being a parent. I don't think we are because none of us have
I'm
kids.
not a parent. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, so however you do
I
it,
don't have to be a parent to give advice.
right? I don't think there's a
It's
wrong
not like
way
building
to
a
do it.
house.
Yeah,
You have
unless
to be a
you're
parent
abusing
to build a
them.
house.
I think unless you're abusing your kids, that's the wrong way. But I don't think there's a wrong way to be a parent. Like we're all just trying to figure this fucking thing out.
Yeah.
And you got to do what you know or how you think is right. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You could do everything right, 100% right, and your kids still turn out to be a psychotic
shithead,
killer or
for
something.
Yes,
sure.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was thinking serial killer, not psychotic killer.
Oh.
Because I would want my kid to be like smart about it.
Yeah.
Like they're not
Get
just
away
out
for a
there.
while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not just going against their thought, like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's like, yeah, I want to do this, and I'm going to be smart about it.
Like the Zodiac.
They'll never catch
Did he
me.
ever get, he didn't get caught
No, I still don't know who it is.
yet. Yeah. He's probably dead though. Right?
I feel
gone.
like
Maybe
it's a
he's
good
right
possibility.
next door.
How weird would that be, bro? Can you imagine the person that lived next to BTK and never knew it, and their
Never.
kids played together and they had dinners and shit like that?
Yeah.
Could you fucking imagine?
BTK, my big turtle kid.
Big turtle kid. Oh,
It
how
would be
weird.
crazy.
How weird. I would question, like, if that happened and then it comes out and stuff like I lived next door, I was friends and stuff like I would question all the decisions I made in life and all the people that I thought were like cool and stuff. It would fuck me up
That
psychologically.
would just cement all the choices that I made. I'd say, all right, he didn't kill me. I did
Oh,
something
must be
right.
good. Yeah.
I
can
like
see
to
that.
think about, it's one of my few things I think about. I'm sitting in my room and thinking about, like, looking into people's houses and seeing them, like, what they're doing and how just people are crazy. Like, most people are probably just cooking dinner, helping their kids with homework, and then you got someone who's, you know, binding some chick and fucking cutting her skin off. Like, that person's out there.
Oh yeah. You know the craziest thing though, that person's out there and probably right in the time that you did your conversation, there's a large chance that somebody's getting tortured and killed right now.
Oh, yeah, it's happening.
It's a large chance. Yeah. Like I think it's like every 18 hours or something.
It's going on at this moment.
There's a big number of people out there having sex right now, and there's a little number of people out there torturing people.
Yeah. It's a little bit smaller, but it's happening.
Some of those people are having sex too, but forcefully.
Yeah. They're not the good way.
I guess that wouldn't be sex. That would be rape. That's what that
Rapists.
word is.
Yep. That's something that's weird to think about. Like in the vastness of the world and how big it is, I don't think people realize like how often things really do happen. Because, you know, in America, let alone the rest of the world,
Whole world.
Yeah.
there's a good video out there that shows like the point where you set on a map and then it moves back from the world and it's a cross section of the world, you know, a cross section. And you can see, even they go to Mount Everest and big buildings they just tower. It's like the Burj Khalifa, or how you would say it, Burj Khalifa.
I don't know what the fuck that
Whatever
is.
that's it.
Yeah.
The biggest building in the world. And then they zoom out into this, and you see the world compared to like the one little tiny little speck of little fucking whatever that once was this biggest thing that you could ever see. And it's just like, it doesn't make sense. It's like, how the hell?
Yeah.
It just, you know, we can't comprehend the size and the magnitude and the amount of people that are here. Also, Jordan Peterson feels like that right now, maybe he doesn't, there's a theory out there, right, that he agrees with, that we could possibly be in a time where the most people that ever be on the planet are on the planet right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's not going to get any higher than this, and it'll probably bottom out and drop because a lot of people aren't having kids, and people are overworked. They don't have time for it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they believe that people think it's just going to keep growing exponentially, but it's not. We're generally around the amount of people we'll have, and it'll probably bottom out before too long.
That would be nice, but I don't see it happening. But that would be nice.
Not in your lifetime, anyways.
Why you got to be like that?
I don't think
I don't think a lot of things. I listened to something today. It was just like I was sitting on the couch when I was watching it, depressed the fuck out of me. But it was like, you know, no matter what you do, if you do something you don't like, if you hate your life, you're depressed. If you're watching TV, if you're going out there and hustling, it consumes the same amount of time to do all those things. Whichever one you choose to do, right? Time is always just steadily moving towards your death. Yeah. And then, so, I don't know, it just makes decisions that much harder to make because it's like, oh, in the face of this, how do I make one decision towards what I want to do? Now you got to think, like, what do I want to do? Because then it's like, well, do I want to go to work Monday, right? No, I don't want to go to, you don't want to go to work Monday.
I actually look forward to Mondays.
Oh, you wouldn't rather go out and do something else, like fucking have sex with a chimpanzee or some shit?
Maybe a bonobo, but I'm not fucking a chimp.
No chimps for me.
No.
But you get what I'm saying, though.
No fat chimps.
It makes it, and that's the good thing about it too is the job you have is pretty laid back, and you can get to do what you pretty much like to do while you're there, and you get to study and you get to do your job at the same time. But yeah, it just makes decisions harder when you think about life in that way.
It should make it easier.
Really?
I mean, if you have a vision of what you want your life to look like, that kind of orients you in the proper direction.
Yeah.
And everything that isn't that, just don't do it.
Yeah. But you have to figure out what that vision is first, because some people just let that crush them.
Well, I mean, I feel like you personally, you want a creative life.
Yeah.
You want to make music, make videos and stuff. Yeah. All right. So just fucking do that.
I know, yeah.
To do anything else is just stupid.
And it's a waste of time.
But then you have to whittle it down between, I have these 10 creative things I can do. Which one do I want to start with?
The one that you feel most passionate about.
All of them.
Yeah, man.
They're all equal. No. 100% equal.
You motherfuckers, I'm telling you right now, y'all need to, I would kill you all if I didn't love you all to death and stuff. Because I swear, dude, every time I have a thought or something that I want to ponder or some shit, we did this the other night. It was about something I'm not going to bring up because there's somebody out there probably would get offended.
Is it about homosexuals?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
no,
then
we
be
liked
fine.
it.
We liked
winked
it.
at you.
But look, so check this out. We got into this conversation, right? And it did get heated. You know why? Because Sarah always, no matter what, even if she agrees with me, no matter what in a conversation, she will play devil's advocate. You do the same.
How did you not see that coming?
Yeah. No, dude, it caught me off guard the other night, so I get amped up to a level, and then she said something that was obviously a joke, and then I was just I fucking straight up pissed. I was just straight up. It didn't even cross. It didn't even gradually get there. I was just pissed.
One step closer to murder suicide.
I swear. But I think it had more to do with the fact that she always plays devil's advocate no matter the conversation. You do too. Right. And I could feel so passionate about something. I know you all feel the same, and you'll still play it against me. And I'm just motherfucker.
Why don't you just be smarter than us and take the position against what you want, and then she'll make your argument for you.
Yeah.
Or I'll just take the other side.
The other side is what he wants.
If I'm always devil, I got
you.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Ooh, buddy.
you would give me what I want. Reverse psychology.
Yeah, I feel I really want to buy this camera. You go to Sarah. I don't think I should buy this camera.
I think it's really hurting my soul.
I think this is going to fuck everything up. Oh, no, baby. Here's why you need to get this.
Yes.
This is going to be your dream machine.
It's not good, right?
Right? Yeah. Yo, I was walking through, Best Buy the other day, right? Just looking for shit. I shouldn't go in there because I'm always going to buy everything. And I was walking behind this couple, dude, and this guy was pushing the baby's stroller and shit. I was walking behind them. It didn't dawn on me they were looking at cameras. And the conversation they had, I kid you not, they were the interracial version of me and Sarah. Like backwards, you know what I mean? And the chick was a chick and the guy was a guy, so Sarah would be the guy because I'm more emotional, right?
He said the chick was a chick and the guy was a guy. Not like that. Thank you.
But no, okay,
So I
so
was picturing a ginger chick and a black dude.
oh well, no,
no.
so close.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty close. So, anyways, so there, it was just so weird because I could see us in them, even though they looked nothing like us. Because this dude was like, I want to get this camera. And she was like, oh, but I thought you wanted this other GH5 camera. And he was like, yeah, but doing the research and this and that, it has good whatever frames per second, but the other one doesn't crop the sensor when they're and he was giving out all this stuff. We have been walking in fucking Best Buy saying that me giving the same argument to her and her saying the same shit, and I could see it in real time, and it was so weird. I thought I was in like in a time warp.
Yes.
And then I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore because it's irritating to hear. But maybe because I hate myself.
Did
I'm
you
like,
help the guy?
huh? Oh no,
you
I was
help
going
him?
to, but they walked away because he was like, I'll just get it later. I'll do more research, and that's what I've done.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to buy something because I'm like, there's still more research to be done.
It's
See,
awesome.
It was so weird, bro.
Like when it comes to like in terms of like when you were talking about with 10 ideas and like, you know, I just think of David Lynch because he talks about like, you know, catching the ideas and stuff. And he's like, eventually you'll find one that you fall in love with. That's the one that you do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've had plenty of things where I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. But I can tell the difference between things where I'm like, fuck yes, dude.
Yeah.
I could put everything into this. And the ones that are like, oh, that would be cool if maybe it happened in a dream.
Right.
But I don't want to put in the time. It's not going to be worth the effort. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah, just feel it within yourself.
Yeah, that,
Like,
and
oh,
you're
I love this. This is so good.
yeah. That's really what I need to pursue, and then I need to stop. I told her the other day, like I'm trying to analyze myself, which I already did, but I did it, and like I realized that I analyze myself negatively all the time.
Yeah, but that could be helpful too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. I just have to like, you know,
Keep
add
it
in
at
a
bay.
little bit good. Yeah.
Analyze the shit out of yourself, but don't paralyze yourself.
Yeah. And then so I have to quit worrying about like what other people think or what they're gonna think of me if I say no or if I don't feel like doing something or I just want to chill out and
Everybody's
do fucking
opinion about you is more important than what you think about yourself.
nothing. Is that how you say it? You're fucking with me.
I'm fucking with you.
I was
He
like,
said, is that how you say it? That was awesome.
I was like, it
You're on
sounds
point
right,
today.
but just a little different.
No, I figured, you know, if I tell you that, then you think, no, man, fuck those people. Ian's an idiot.
Yeah.
And then you'll finally think, yeah, fuck those people.
I'm right there.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one thing of all the things that you do,
Ooh.
what would it be? Like to do forever? Like I could do this until the day I die.
Oh,
Eating
like
ass.
that. Eating ass and taking names.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Woo!
would film all the time, and I would take pictures all the time, and I would make music all the time. Oh, but I gotta pick one.
We'll see
No.
where it goes. You,
Because-
It's multimedia, man.
Yeah, I would do music, videos, you know, take pictures and shit
Absolutely.
like that.
it kind of
What
all
else I do?
overlaps.
Yeah, I don't think I would like to do like the tattooing all the time or like just like regular artwork. But yeah, like the filming and stuff, and then implementing the sound, the creative artistic part of it. And so in those, I found that I can incorporate a bunch of things.
Right.
And even the video editing goes into that.
I was gonna ask if the editing was something that which you seem to very much enjoy. The
Editing is a
editing
pain
part.
in the ass, but it's so much fun.
So much fun because then like what you ever film something and then you get into it in editing and it becomes something entirely different than what you started with.
Yeah, pretty much all the time.
So crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Every time I do it, I'm like, this doesn't even look nothing like the vision I had in the beginning. It's grown to
Listen,
something.
I have no desire to edit a fucking thing. When I just think about having to learn the program, it's so overwhelming. I've wanted to offer to him so many times to like I'll deal with the podcast videos. I've never offered because the idea of learning it is overwhelming to me. There's no way.
Yeah,
I can
dude.
see, well, yeah, like if you have to just look at it, or at least I do. This is how I approach things. Like, it's just fun. like whenever I
Use
first
it.
started fucking around with GarageBand,
Yeah.
like I would just make stupid ass things that aren't really songs. It was like jungle noises with like clowns screaming.
Yeah.
And if you can make that fun, then you're gonna learn your way, and then
Yeah.
you can actually make it good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like not being hard on yourself or anything, just like put it out there.
I guess
Yeah.
it's that part of me though that doesn't. If I'm not immediately decent at it, I'm not doing it.
doing it,
And
yeah.
there's really, I mean, you can have natural talent of just this is what I had in my head and I got it out and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But there's no. It would take time. You have to learn the program. You have to learn how to put things together and what looks good. And I just
And
don't
it just
have
seems
that.
like, you're pretty content with where you
Not
are and how
doing
you
that.
do things and all that shit. So, I mean, it's like if somebody was a successful director by the time they were 30, then it's like they wouldn't feel a need. Well, they might, but they might not feel the need to like master other skills.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I'm fine. This is what I
Absolutely.
do. I'm going to make movies the rest of my life. It's not, I'm
Yeah.
going to be a fucking building builder.
Yeah.
Building
switch it all
builder.
the way up. No.
Shit.
But those are all encompassing. I think that I would do those things and I would be happy.
Yeah. That
And then
shit
I can-
ties in enough together.
Yeah, and that's why I've tried to lately a lot. If you go to like the company's page, I've started making like little fucking like time lapses and videos and put them on there because I'm like, I gotta tie in like video. I gotta practice somehow.
Yeah.
So I just take these random videos and throw them together later.
Plus,
you know
I
what
mean, if you put a video out there like with your company, like that kind of crap is going to appeal more to people visually than like the jackasses that are like,
Plain
aha. If y'all want some lights done, we got a family-owned operation down here.
I do lights.
That's dumb. I don't want any part of that.
I told her, I was like, I think coming up in the future, the near future, that's what's going to set companies apart in the long run is like who can utilize social media and the script people would scrolling by and make your company and the work you do look interesting. Even if it's
Yeah.
not, you got to make it look.
Hell yeah.
And it's sad to say that just because of the world we live in, but if that millennial that made it big on YouTube or whatever needs his electric done, who you think is going to call? The person that has no media influence or somebody who puts shitty videos together?
Yeah.
Probably
I like
more the
that
shitty
you've
video.
incorporated your creativity into your job since you
Yeah.
have to be there. I mean, I guess you don't have to be. I could give you the day off, but I mean, but
Slave driving Sarah. You're going to go do that.
yes.
Oh, yeah. She knows.
If you ever want to rub this butt again, you're going to go work, boy.
You want these
Yeah.
hips.
Hey, come on
Eat
now.
this ass.
Eat this asshole.
You said it first.
I did.
I don't know whose ass you thought he was eating,
The neighbor.
but it better
Neighbor.
be mine.
That cool lady over there.
Yes. Can you imagine her as a serial killer? That's what I was thinking
yeah.
about when we were talking about it. It'd be crazy.
Probably get away with it.
She's
No one
so
would
sweet.
suspect it.
Never.
Mm-mm. No.
Ah, I guess that would make sense though, because it was always, he was always such a nice guy.
Yeah.
That doesn't
For
happen
sure.
around here.
I never suspected he'd be a murderer.
That's
Yep.
why I was able to be a heathen for so long because no one expected it.
Yeah. That's for
Just
sure.
look in your eyes. Like, the look you have now. It's like, how do people not see that?
I know.
But that's, I feel like, though, that is one of my biggest fears as well, is getting to a point where, say, the electric I can't do anymore because I'm older and I can't move. And then, like, the editing or whatever, my brain starts to go, where I have the creative portion or the memories or the know-how to do it. I fear getting to a point like that because when I'm 70, 80, I still want to be doing this shit. When I'm 90, 100,
Oh, come on.
in a way,
At that point, you'll just want to sit on a beach.
you think?
I don't know.
I don't know. I like to there's certainly the possibility that, you won't want to. Some people don't like retirement.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like just sitting. And I could watch TV from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed and I'd be good. He doesn't like it.
I
Vince
think,
McMahon refuses to quit.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Oh.
He just keeps taking testosterone like one more year.
For real.
No, and I think mostly it has something to do with that itching in the back of my brain that's like, dude, you're going to die. You're going to die. You need to get up and do something. So I feel bad for sitting there. Or I feel bad for taking a day off. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Kill
And
me
it's-
or quit itching me.
Stop touching me. But that's something that I battle with is like feeling bad about that shit and then feeling bad about like just taking a day off and being, and my thing too I'm trying to get over is that like I want to pursue things like the music, videos, the fucking everything, right? But then it's like I told that guy, I was like, there's no milestone there, right? I know that if I go and start a company and I do jobs, there's money involved and that's a monetary milestone.
Of course, there's a milestone there.
But
Oh,
how
I got
long
this
does it take
song
to
done.
see it? No, I mean like
Got this
monetarily.
next song done. Fuck that.
You have, but if you want to turn it into something, you have to eventually get
Yeah,
it.
but if you look at the money, then you're never gonna get anywhere. So I mean,
No.
if you just
Oh,
look
Jack.
at the
You got
work
that.
in front of you, bam.
Yeah.
Like if you're driving somewhere, they're like, oh yeah, look so many feet ahead of your car, so you
Yeah.
don't wreck the bitch. But you know, if you're looking like 3 miles off to the west,
Definitely.
and you're like, man, I'm never gonna fucking get there.
Yeah.
And like, well, you know.
I'm on board with that. I agree completely, and that's what. There's a lot of things that I realize I do unconsciously or subconsciously, and that's one of them I need to get on because I'll overthink the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Over analysis
'Cause I mean, just
paralysis.
Think about it in terms of
Yes.
like with the Drinky Show or the podcast. You know, it's like whenever we started out, we had nothing, but now we're on episode 142.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
lot.
that's 142 episodes that other people don't have.
Right.
That's a lot of milestones.
Yeah, I'll give you that. There's a lot, and that's
Stupid fuckers with your 17 episodes.
Yeah, you ain't shit.
Yeah, I
You
think
ain't
too.
never gonna be shit.
The equivalent of back in the day, like bands, driving around in a van and just like sleeping on people's couches and just working hard to be famous, and then they did get it right. The equivalent of that today is putting your shit out there and not paying to play, not paying for the top spot on Apple Podcasts, and not paying, to be viewed or for the algorithm to read you more, right? It's the same equivalent. You have to keep putting it out until it just hits one day,
Yeah.
and that's hard to do.
But that's like with Sarah and
go.
editing, You have to just enjoy it.
Yeah,
And if it's not fun for you, then you're never going to get there. Because we're not marketing geniuses.
no,
No. So we just do what we do.
that's right.
Maybe next time you make a video for Lance or Jasper, maybe you could just sleep on their couch after you're done, and then you'll feel like you're
We're
accomplishing
really
something.
doing something here. That's why I told him. I was like, I want to do those things, but I'm like, I have this habit of looking for that monetary milestone. Even though if I start something, I'm like, you can't start it for money, and I do work for people for no money, shit like that. I'm like, I don't know. It's still in the back of my mind. It's like, what are you even doing? You can't even explain this to nobody because they'll look at you like, what the fuck? You're wasting time is what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Well, think about it like in terms of like music that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Those people, they make the music because they love it. But then whenever you think about people that are making the hits and they're just like churning out song after song for like the pop artists, you think, they're just doing it for the money. There's no soul in that music.
Yeah.
You hate that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that shit.
Most definitely.
But you think, man, this guy's poor. He's putting out brilliant music.
Yeah, it's a rough
Just
one.
make brilliant music.
And be poor.
Do good videos. Fuck money.
Fuck. I always. That's why I told you I like Bukowski a lot because
Hell yeah.
he was a rough dude. He had a rough life,
Yeah.
and then eventually he
No-
was recognized.
Nobody gave a shit about him until he was like 60 or something.
Yeah, dude. Ain't that fucked up?
Yeah.
But that's what he said. He was like, if you're not writing, then you're not a writer. So if you say you want to be or do something, if you're not doing it, then stop talking about it or whatever. Then
Yeah.
you're not what you say you are. Because he, wrote and never made money at it. Little bits here and there, but nothing
Yeah,
like
little
crazy.
bits. He would get published and stuff, but nothing caught on.
No, and
So
not
he
until
went
he was
back to
older.
the post office.
Yeah, for like 10 years, bro, just trudging away.
Yeah.
How fucking depressing. Yeah, but that dude had it hard. But you
course
get what I'm
he
saying.
did.
That's the equivalent of making it. That's the equivalent of making it like they did back then.
Equivalent of making it.
No, making a queen.
Illuminati, Illuminati, Illuminati.
Come get us. That's but no, I hope that there's a lot of things that I realized that I did do and did subconsciously. I think that I developed while I was growing up. And man, I'm like, if they would go away, I think I'd be more apt to like get more things done and move forward in life and stop beating myself. I think there's more that I can do. I think there's more potential somewhere in like here.
Yeah.
And I think that I've let that slide because of the way I talk to myself. And then like me thinking I have to just do one thing, make money. But Sarah's happy with anything.
Yeah.
Because we're honest with each other about it.
I think it's because she's a mannequin
Oh, she's definitely
in human.
I might be.
Humanican.
Humanican.
Yeah, that should be my new nickname.
Humanican. Yeah, but I don't know, man. And life is so fucking hard. I think by the time you think you've figured it out, you'll probably be dying. And then, you're off in some fucking weird world.
Yeah. I was thinking, you think you got it figured out, and then something comes along and just fucks you up.
And
you're like, I didn't know it at all.
I told the therapist about, and he was like, I thought he would be a recipient of it very well. I started talking about the out-of-body experiences, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, cool. And you could tell he was like into it. He was like, no, he's like, I believe you. People have those. It's something that happens. And then I swear to God to you, a little bit of transition, and then he was like, have you ever thought about like going to a psychiatrist? And I was like, bro, I thought that's what you were. He was like, no, I'm like lower on the totem pole.
Yeah, I'm
He was
just a
like-
therapist, man.
Yeah. He was like, you might want to go to like a psychiatrist and talk to them about the out-of-body. He was like, you might want to tell your doctor about it too. And I'm just like, hold on. I thought you were okay with this. But no, it almost I don't know. It's hard to explain to people, but at least he received it a little well.
Right, so whenever with him, I'm glad you brought him up, because I thought earlier whenever you were talking about like him and your conversations about free will and stuff, you're like, oh, free will. So does he just not think that free will is a thing?
So
Are you just on some path and like you went to him because that's where the train took you?
yeah. So, well, no, I was eventually going to go somewhere. Of course, the insurance is what sent us to a place like that.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, lucky enough, I found somebody that was truly fucking like, could think in depth. But, yeah, so the thought behind this is that they have proven that they can map your choices before you ever make them by knowing the history of your like childhood and growing up and what you've experienced, your surroundings, like nature, right? So your surroundings that are around you, and brain activity, stuff like that. They know what you're going to choose before you choose it. It's proven that they can do it. It's proven that it's a thing.
Yeah, your brain like activates for you to make a choice before you've ever had the thought, like hamburger or hot dog. It's ready for the hot dog before you say, I want a hot dog.
Because you grew up and you have a certain taste for something, blah, blah, blah. They knew you were going to choose a hot dog. So free will, what we perceive as free will, is not technically free will. It's all biological effects. It's,
Physiological.
Okay,
physiological.
So it kind of sounds like it's not so much that you don't have the choices and the ability to make the choices, but you're predisposed to pick one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's still free will.
You sure?
Yeah. Because, I mean, yeah, whenever you said hamburgers or hot dogs, like, that's hamburgers.
Yeah.
But I could still choose hot dogs.
Would you?
No. I mean, there are times, but
I think
I've
that's
been
the
eating
argument,
hamburgers
though.
this week, and they've been really good. And plus,
I just
with the
want a lot of
idea of
hamburgers.
them being able to map out your choices before you make it, that's still just with a relative percent of accuracy. That's not 100%.
Right.
Because if that were the case, then we wouldn't have to do anything ever. We would just know everything that's going to happen. So if there's a margin of error that's even like 0.2%, then that indicates that there's 0.2% free will,
Yeah.
regardless of anything. So free will still exists. It's just,
Doesn't.
God damn it.
I think really it depends on like the true definition or how you feel about free will. And you're right. It's not 100% certain, I'm sure. And you can throw a wrench in it, or what you think is a wrench. Maybe they can decide that you're going to just go against the grain because you've already predisposed yourself to think that free will is not a thing. And then they could pick that, right? But, yeah, I don't believe that it's 100% like free will. We don't have 100%. There is a slight thing about it, but I wish they could map out like individually, like what I'm predisposed to. That way I know to always make the opposite choice when said thing comes in the way of whatever, so that I won't go down a bad road, go back to addiction, or not do the video that I want to do, or do the job that I don't want to do. You could, if they could map it out for you, then you could easily choose the opposite, even if you would hate it, your brain would hate it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Go against the grain. All right. My fucking voice. I don't know what's up.
It makes me think of a brand new thing, like on the science fiction album. Like in between two of the songs, there's a guy talking. He's like, am I choosing these things because I want them? Or is it like, how do I find my true individuality in all of this? And I mean, that, I guess that the idea of free will, does that mean like completely detached from everything? Or does that mean making your choice as you want?
I think this is a topic that we should all study this week and talk more in depth about it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Here, I will.
My instinct was
I'll
to
leave
agree
this.
with you, so I'm going to disagree with you.
Right.
I'm gonna
fuck
go.
you,
I'll
sir.
just leave you with this, so that you can think about it and then come up with an answer. If you have an answer, put it in the comments, dickheads. Free will, the power of acting without constraint, of necessity, or fate. Right, the ability to act out one's own discretion. Right.
Yeah.
So, something that you feel is. What is it called when something it just arises out of nowhere? It's like immaculate conception. It just rises out of nowhere. Something that just becomes visible out of nowhere. There's something there. It's called something, right? So that's pretty much what they're saying, that the act of doing something without discretion is saying that it just popped into my head. It was just, I just want blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Okay, so that makes me think that free will is just arbitrary. Yeah. Why'd you pick that? Why
Right.
not? Who gives a shit?
Right.
I'd love for you to be in their study when they were doing it, like putting the cap on them and shit, and like, we're gonna figure out, dude, you'd fuck them up. I meant to finish
fuck
that.
'em.
I got time.
Free will in philosophy and science, the supposed power or capacity of humans to make decisions or perform actions independently of any prior event or state of the universe. If that helps a little bit more.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
if
then that
that's
kinda-
the definition.
That makes it a little harder.
Yeah, I feel like if that is the definition, then there is no free will because everything you do goes into everything you do.
Right.
Yeah.
That it
'Cause
leads
it
up
kind
to
of
that.
made me think of like the idea of cause and effect.
Yeah.
Of everything prior, everything that is a cause has an effect. So, in effect, everything that happens is because something else happened.
Absolutely.
But then what the
No
hell
free
was
will.
the thing?
Yeah. It says arguments for free will have been based on a subjective experience of freedom, on sentiments of guilt, on revealed religion, and on the common assumption of individuals' moral responsibility that underlies the concepts of law, reward, punishment, and incentive. So, meaning that, you know what I mean? You make the decision based on, I'll feel guilty about it. They could definitely map me out like that. Of your free will, as far as like freedom, unconstrained by things around you and prior decisions you made. And
You see, then even when you get into the idea of unconstrained by things around you, the constrained kind of implies that there's something that has its hooks in you.
yeah, okay.
And like whenever if I were to pick a song to play for you guys, I wouldn't feel constrained to play any particular song. I'd just be like,
Made you.
I like this song. Listen to this.
What made you like the song?
Those eyes.
The melody and the chords and all of it.
The music.
Yeah.
The music. Okay, I can see it.
Whenever you asked that, I immediately thought of Spillways. Like that song
Yeah.
was just in my head, the Ghost song, you know?
Yeah,
But that kind of wasn't free will. That just popped in. That was an intrusive song in my brain.
yeah. I got you. Because it's already
hooks in you.
Got the hooks in me.
I believe that, especially that's why I try with music, of course, to just like let the random thing play and I find artists and shit. But then I'm like, did the algorithm pick it or did I actually do a random choice out of all these options or whatever? That's what I always fear if the algorithm is choosing it for me.
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the algorithm is kind of a watered down version of this. So it knows what you like. It knows your prior engagements. It knows what you've done and searched and looked up and tried and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, you'd like this, right? So they obviously know that you might like something.
Yeah. Because I mean, sometimes when I put my shit on shuffle, it's like, oh my God, it's in my brain. It knows. But then other times I'll hit shuffle and I'm like, fuck these first 3 songs.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of times I'm like that. It's rough when you're looking at new shit because some of it's just so garbage.
Yeah.
So garbage.
But it's fun to sift through the shit.
It is.
And you find that nugget of gold.
Nougat. Cool, man.
I do think we should talk about free will next week.
Yeah,
we have
that's
to
cool.
actually all like look into something.
So I just thought team free will, and Dean.
Because I'm leaning more towards there's no free will.
Yeah.
But I don't fucking know anything. I've never read about free will. If I
Terrible.
did, it was in college.
We'll figure it out next week.
Yeah,
College
I
doesn't
suggest,
count. That's that liberal hippie shit.
If other people,
every thought I had in college doesn't count because I was in college.
That's right.
if you have an opinion on free will, put it in the comments so that we can actually bring that up and address it next time.
Yeah, we could talk about your stupid opinions on the next episode.
We don't care about.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that's something
Unless
that
you're
I think.
Danner, then I think it's probably...
we love everything you do, Danner.
I think that people's opinion on it would be appreciated, and then it would give us something to talk about. If I suggest, at least in your studies, add one, and that's Sam Harris. Is great to listen to about free will. Another one, there's another one. I'll have to think about it. But Jordan Peterson's a good one. But Sam Harris is a good one, and stuff like that. I would look at both ends of the spectrum if you're gonna like actually look it up, because you probably won't. You probably not even got this far, but you get what I'm saying. Look the shit up and make a comment so that we can fucking figure this out.
Grits are good. We're going to eat grits
I'm about to
on
eat
our
some grits,
tacos.
cuz. All right, that was episode 143. I'm Adam, that's Sarah, that's Ian.
I'm Ian.
And we greatly, greatly appreciate every viewer that we have that gotten this far. Please like, share, comment,
Say
do
what
whatever.
up.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're here, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Ba-ba.
And if you were wondering, the last video I put up, I did put the pictures and the links in the thing, so I'm getting
Go
better.
you.
Yeah, I remembered it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you like my new shirt?
It's cool.
Boppity
Whoop, whoop,
bop.
whoop, whoop, whoop. I'll be on Uninteresting
Flap, flap.
podcast.